Hello everybody, welcome back to Tea and Tarot. Today's reading is just going to be like a really cute little light-hearted one, and we're just going to be looking at some messages that your pet wants you to know. So all the cards today are going to be cat themed. You might not have a pet that is a cat, and that's totally fine. We are also going to look into whether or not, you have a more typical type of pet, or whether you have a little bit more of an extraordinary, rare type of pet. So this is not specific to cats, but we are using pet/cat themed cards today. Today we have 3 piles, and this is a pick-a-pile reading. If you don't know how pick-a-pile readings work, essentially you just choose the card or pile or crystal that you feel most drawn to, and that can be based on the energy of the pile, the number of the pile, maybe the numbers in the timestamps below, or the object on top. So, for pile 1, we have the advice from your pet, which is be present and focus on now. And for your crystal, we have the purple cat's eye. For pile number 2, we have the advice of being flexible, and for your crystal, we have the pink cat's eye. And for pile number 3, we have the advice of keep exploring, and for your crystal, we have a beige cat's eye crystal. Pile 3's crystal is actually really hard to understand. I can't tell if it's like beige, brown, is it grey, is it kind of green? I don't know. So if anyone knows what colour that is, feel free to let me know. It was in with the purple cat's eyes when I was at this crystal shop, but even though it is a cat's eye, that's definitely not purple. So if somebody could help me out, that would be great. So once you have picked your pile, there will be a timestamp in the description box below for you to find your reading more easily, and I will meet you there. Bye. Okay, hello my pile ones, welcome to your reading. So you chose this really cute purple cat's eye crystal, and for your advice from your pet, straight away we've got be present and focus on now. So maybe you might have, this is your first sort of message from your pet, so I'm kind of getting that you might have a tendency to maybe be a bit disassociative or even a bit distant from your pet. So you might feel that you're kind of distracted by work a lot or your hobbies, or you might feel like you never really have time for your pet beyond, meeting their basic sort of needs of like feeding them, giving them water and things like that. They're telling you to like slow it down, be calm, and just enjoy little moments. Like, don't stress about, oh, I haven't spent enough time with them today, or my pet must be hating me right now because I've literally been out of the house for 2 days, or whatever, whatever it is that your pet is telling you, don't worry. Like, don't feel any type of way about that. Just focus on the moments you do get to spend with them, when you are with them and you do have that spare minute, even if it is just 1 minute or 2 minutes, just like interacting with them, looking at them, talking to them, cuddling them, giving them that time and that attention is enough. And they're telling you, enjoy those moments because they are brief and you don't get them often. So just really try and like sit there and be present and don't be distracted by your worries about whether or not you're, a fantastic pet owner or not. They're telling you it's all good. Okay, so I think firstly, we should look into whether or not you have a more traditional or a slightly more unusual type of pet. And so I'm going to pull a card from here. Essentially, if I get a card that is like a cat or a dog or, something like that, then I'm going to know that you've got a more traditional type of pet. If I get a different type of card, let's say like a warthog or something, I'll know that you've got a slightly different type of pet. So you may not have a warthog, but it gives me an indication of the type of pet we're looking at right now. And if this doesn't sound like your pet, then feel free to check out another pile if you really feel like it's not getting your pet right. So first off, we have an otter and a beaver, and the underlying message here is home and peace, which is so lovely. So they want to tell you straight away they feel really peaceful at home, they love it. You might be wondering if you should make your pet like an outdoor pet. No, they don't want that. They like being at home, they like the peace, the serenity that brings. So yeah, don't make them an outdoor pet, please. So if you have like a cat or something, they like being an indoor pet. So your pet could be on the cusp of a traditional pet, but it is slightly out there. So like otters, for example, are a pet that people have quite a lot. But they're considered unusual. Like if you were to go into someone's home and they had an otter, you would be like, wow, that's so cool. But at the same time, loads of people do have that. So your pet is an unusual type of pet, but it is one that is quite common at the same time, even if it's not your stereotypical cat or dog or type of pet. That's kind of what I'm getting from here. Now we're going to be looking into the personality and any sort of messages that they have for you. And this is just to help you see if this pile really resonates with you and your pet, you know. So we're going to check out what personality traits really come through with your pet. Pile 1. Oh, there was a card I felt for you, but it fell through, so I didn't see it. That kind of feeling. Oh, okay, so we have Leo straight away. I'm going to pull 3 of these, so don't worry if your pet's not a Leo. But these are just some of the traits that they might typically have. So your pet may be a Leo. And it says that they may enjoy time out from entertaining and learning new tricks. And it's saying that they can get burnt out easily, and it's important to give them somewhere to rest and relax at home, which is so interesting because we literally had peace and home. Like they want some peace and quiet, some time at home, a space that's just theirs. That's really what's coming through here, especially. They want you to definitely make sure that they have a safe space they can go to, an area that's just theirs that no one else can reach. So for example, if your pet is something that can kind of have free reign over the home and can climb, maybe it would be a good idea to sort of install some shelves somewhere that they could easily access, that are like pet specific shelves that they can get to if they just want space from people. And also make sure you're not having like too many house guests or too many parties that are very noisy, because that can be really overstimulating as well. They do need that calm, sort of tranquil space. We also have Capricorn. So due to their calm and relaxed nature, you need to remember to give them lots of affection, and they may not always ask for attention. So, you know, it's key to sort of make time for them, and that's why we have be present and focus on now as well. You do need to make time for them, but don't worry. Don't panic about whether or not you're being the best pet owner in the world, and whether you spent Tuesday with them or like you wanted to spend more time with them. They're sort of saying it's okay, but you know, when you do have that time, really focus on them and give them all the love that they need. And then we also have Gemini. So this is a really intelligent pet, and they may find ways of communicating with you that feel almost human-esque. So like, you know, your pet might literally be able to say words. It could be like a parrot. Or it could just sound like they're saying words, but either way, the tone of what they're saying to you conveys what they want. Like they let you know if they want the cabinet drawer open so they can get the treats, or they let you know that, you know, they want to go outside, so they sit by the back door and, you know, make a certain sound that sounds like they want to get out. So they're really good. They've built up this communication with you. It could be a look, it could be a sound they actually make, it could be a physical demonstration. So it could be, you know, maybe they paw at something or tap on something. And I think your pet really enjoys to, you know, be in your pet really enjoys to be in your company. They're quite possessive over you, so make sure. I think with this pet, they don't want other pets necessarily around. I think they want most of your attention. Even if they get along with other pets in your house that you may have, I think they really want your attention and your focus. So, you know, keep that in mind as well. So I think, you know, with your pet, because they are... Ooh, okay, another card just fell out, so I'm going to read that one to you. It fell and like hit the flowers, so I'm also going to read that one to you. But I am just going to finish saying quickly that They really love peace and quiet. There's been so much focus on that in this reading, but that doesn't mean peace and quiet from you. You might be a really loud person. They still love being around you specifically. Like, you're not the drama, you know, you're the one that they want in their space. So just keep in mind that they do really appreciate you and want you around. And then we also had Sagittarius. It came out as a last minute card that I wasn't expecting. So we're getting that your pet is very friendly, very upbeat. They may have funny little quirks that make you laugh. We also have they're cheerful, energetic, and ambitious. They may be really impatient, like they might, you know, ask for outdoor time or treats or something, and you might say yeah in a second, and then all of a sudden they don't stop making noise because they're like no, I want that now. So they're definitely that type of pet. I think they do like a little bit of variety. As I said, having that safe space for them to be able to reach is really good, but that doesn't mean closing them off from the rest of the space in the house. So for example, having that space that they can get to that no one else can reach is good, but you know, they can still come into the general shared space as well. So they get the option. They get to choose when they're too overstimulated and need their alone time, or when they've missed human interaction, human company, and they can come out and meet people as well. So it's good to have those two options available to them at all times. So if that sounds like your pet, we will get into some of the messages that they want to convey to you right now. So what does pile one's pets or pet want to convey to them? What do they want to tell pile one? So we have the Knight of Swords. Your pet is definitely adventurous, and the fact it came out over the Sagittarius as well, 100%. A really, really adventurous cat. They like cat or pet. And then we also, oh yeah, 100%. Okay, so we've also got the Eight of Swords as well, which is really interesting because we've got two very similar postures here. It's quite interesting because, so we've got these two where it's showing this kind of adventurous side where they want to catch things and they're really excitable and they can enjoy anything. Like they don't need the fanciest toys in the world. You don't have to buy them like the newest, latest version of like the best toy for that type of pet. You can literally, as this cat is playing in like a pile of leaves, you can literally find joy in anything, and they will find joy in anything. Make sure they do have toys, but you know, nothing beats the good old, you know, ball of string if you have a cat, or like something like that, you know. So it's about kind of making sure that, or even just like a cardboard box, sometimes my delivery box is very entertaining to my pets. So they're essentially saying they love to play and they can do that with anything. However, this is giving, like, they can play inside, but they can also play outside. I know they're both outside, but that's what it's giving. So yes, on the one hand, they like to be at home. They like to play and explore in that safe space. They're also interested and intrigued in adventure and playing in a new space and having new experiences as well. They can't just be in one space at, you know, the same time all the time. They kind of need variety, and I think that's really succinctly summed up in the two different ways that the animals are presenting in this. So here we've got them jumping and trying to reach stuff and trying to catch things, and then over here we've got two pets that are literally curled up in that kind of C shape, and they're kind of being peaceful and not really getting up to much. So on the one hand, your cat, I keep saying cat because of the cat cards. On the one hand, your pet, so you could have a cat as well, but on the one hand, your pet really likes to be at home, they like to chill, they like to be in a safe space, curled up, warm and cozy, with a blanket and being warm and being really affectionate with you. And at other times, they want to go out exploring, they want to go out catching things and kind of, you know, making the most of their days, essentially. This card also kind of lets me know, well, actually both of these cards also let me know that your pet might be a really successful hunter, so you may have to be careful in terms of like making sure they don't have too much access to certain things, so monitoring them and making sure that they're not like catching birds and bringing them in. You may have to make sure you've got like your cleaning supplies ready for, you know, and a chance where that might happen, because you don't want to be sort of surprised by that. This is giving surprise. Surprise, here's a mouse, enjoy. So, you know, you don't want that. And as well here, when we have the birch, obviously you can see it's been nibbled. This is kind of giving to me that it's kind of giving the energy that your cat or your pet doesn't like to be cooped up. If they are kept in the same place over and over again, for example, if you have a dog that you crate, this is saying they don't like that. So they don't like being in the same space. It drives them like insane if they're constantly doing the same boring mundane thing each day. They need variety, they need it spiced up. So like, for example, on Monday you might have work and they might be bored and they might be sitting at home, and the only real interaction they get is like doing the food, doing the water, maybe taking them out to go to the toilet, or changing their litter box, or areas like living areas when you're home. But you need to somehow incorporate some sort of like even just 10 minutes, some sort of activity that stimulates their mind and makes each day a little bit different. So like, for example, with my pet, I found out that she really likes hairbands, and so I roll them down the banister of the stairs, and she sits at the bottom of the stairs getting so excited and then catches them when they reach her. So it's finding like strange little ways where you can interact with them and create something new that they really enjoy, and something strange and something a bit different, because they can't have too much routine. It's too monotonous for them. That's what I'm kind of getting. And final messages, they love you a lot. This gentle closed eye look is like giving a lot of love as well. So they are really, really happy, pile one. You've done a really good job at taking care of your pet and making sure that they feel really safe and comfortable at home, which is really, really lovely. It's really impressive. So give yourself a pat on the back. You are a good pet owner. So according to the cards. So that was your reading, pile one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe, and feel free to try and guess what that colour stone was in pile 3 in the comment box, because I can't tell. I can't tell if I can't see colours right, or if that is like a multicoloured stone. I need help with this. But if you were drawn to any other piles, please feel free to check those out now. If not, I do hope to see you here next week on Fridays for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye. Okay, hello my pile 2s, welcome to your reading. So you chose this really beautiful pink cat's eye crystal, and first off, straight away, your first message from your pet is to be flexible. So this could be literal, and it could be figurative as well. So when we have be flexible, your pet could literally be telling you to stop moving, start getting up, be more social, maybe, you know, start moving around, try some yoga at home if you can, if that's within your capabilities. Your pet might actually be urging you to, you know, go for nice walks after work, especially if you're quite sedentary a lot of the time, especially if you work from home. Your pet is kind of urging you to follow suit, copy them, and do those sort of downward dog poses. Secondly, it could also be that your pet is sort of saying that you have to kind of make space and time for the things in your life, including your pet. You know, with a pet comes the responsibility of making sure that you dedicate some time to them, and that's also what's kind of coming through here. So they would like a little bit more of your time as well. Okay, so firstly, we're going to figure out what your pet might be, whether it's a more traditional type of pet or whether it's more eccentric, and we're going to look into their personality as well. So this will help you see if this reading is about your pet or not. If it feels like it is, feel free to keep reading and going along with this. If it doesn't feel like your pet, maybe check out another pile. So first off, we're going to start with finding out whether or not your pet is more traditional or not. Oh, okay, it chose not to come out. Let's see. I was just thinking in my head, okay, I was literally thinking, so the one that almost didn't come out, I saw was this one, and now it's come out, so it definitely wanted to come out. But I was just thinking in my head, some of you must have a pet spider. I was like, someone has a pet spider and it's going to come out in this reading, and I knew it. Okay, so you have a much more untraditional pet. So you've got a much more eccentric pet. Maybe it's a type of pet that scares people a little bit. So it could be a spider, a snake, you know, that type of thing, like a lizard. It could also be a bird, could be a big bird like this. However, I think it would be more of like a parrot or a parakeet or something like that, you know. And interestingly enough, with your two small sort of messages here, we've got creative ingenuity. I always struggle with this word. Give me a minute, mate. Jesus. Creative ingenuity. Creative ingenuity. And we also have upheaval. You know what? You wouldn't think I'm a writer for a living, because why is that a struggle for me? Okay. So those are two messages that we've got kind of coming out. Oh, these flowers are falling. So your pet, I can't tell yet. I'll be able to tell once I pull the tarot. But your pet may not or may like or may not like being handled. So with upheaval, it's giving like you reaching in and picking something up. And I can't tell yet if it likes that or not. However, this card does have a focus on upheaval being a good thing. So potentially that is something your pet might want more of or may enjoy. Your pet may actually enjoy that connection and that sort of physical touch of you like sort of holding them in your hand. You may have like a hamster as well, or some sort of like a rodent type of pet. And then with creative ingenuity, your pet is very intelligent and it needs mental stimulation. It needs to move. It needs to have that freedom to do that. It needs a big terrarium if that's what you keep it in. Or if you keep it roaming in your home, it needs a big home, big space to do that. Or if it's in a cage, it needs a big cage to do that. Your pet likes to roam and it likes mental stimulation. It likes games and puzzles. So birds are really, really intelligent. So that's why I'm getting that as well. So are spiders. They're so intelligent. So your pet might actually need like little puzzles that are designed specifically for that type of animal. If there's no, puzzles that are designed for that type of pet, maybe get creative and sort of make something yourself, because with my pet, she really loves hairbands. And don't worry, she doesn't use them unsupervised. I needed a new way of interacting with her with them because she was getting a bit bored, so I started rolling them down the banister of the stairs, and she loves it. She sits at the bottom of the stairs and gets really excited as it rolls towards her, and then she catches it. So, coming up with little creative ways that you could use what's around you, use the resources around you, use your home or the home that the pet is in to try and create those sort of fun games as well. So that's two messages I was just getting quickly. So now let's get into your pet's personality type. And this will also be their zodiacs. It may not be the zodiac of your pet, but they may have traits of that zodiac. So keep that in mind. Straight away we have Sagittarius. The lucky colours from the sign include purple and magenta. This colour perfects the nature of Sagittarius. So your pet is also very philosophical and is always looking for something more. This is what I was saying, like they need that mental stimulation, they need more. They need newness, they need something new every day. The fact that we've got purple and magenta is giving like definitely you've got a unique pet. I feel like your pet might have some sort of purple stripe on it, especially if it's a bird or a spider. Or maybe if it's a traditional like house pet, it may have a purple collar. But yeah, there's definitely, or magenta, so pink as well. Like a purpley pink colour. But I'm definitely getting that, especially if you've got an eccentric pet. Okay. Oh, we got two more. Oh, okay, strongly your pet may be a Sagittarius. But we do also have Virgo as well. Again, your pet may not be these signs, but it might have traits of this sign. So we have... This fire sign loves to be outdoors and explore. Equally, they're always happy to come home. So be sure to greet them when you arrive home and give them plenty of love and respond to their tales and adventures. Yeah, that's kind of giving the upheaval. It's bringing me back to that. So they do enjoy it then. So I think they enjoy being out of the home, which to them could be you lifting them out of their carrier or cage. So if they're in a terrarium or a cage or something like that, it could be literally when you remove them from that space, that is outdoors for them. Or if you have a bird and you actually let them fly and roam free outside, that's also outdoors for them. So your pet likes that. That's what we're getting here. So they like both the time in and the time out. If you have a hamster and you put them in those like little wheels and then let them run around the house, like they enjoy this. And then we have Virgo. The Virgo pet's lucky colour is green, white, grey, yellow, and orange. Ooh, so maybe your pets might have these colours. So that's really, this will help indicate if this is about your pet as well. They like to be around bright spaces with really nice pastel tones and lots of toys and accessories. So maybe literally keep them in slightly more, sorry about that, someone's angry outside, slightly more pastel-y, nice bright colours. And then on top of that, I would also say, as I said, they need like a lot of stimulation creating toys. If there are no toys designed for that type of pet, or finding more toys, they kind of do need that around them. So that's what they're asking for. I think they want more hand-to-hand connection, like physical interaction, if that makes sense. And they also want more mental stimulation, so toys and things like that. And they want you to make more time for them and make sure that they have both indoor time and outdoor time. So outdoor time might be in your home to certain types of pets. So for example, with spiders and birds. So if you can't let your pet outside for whatever reason, don't. But this is basically saying, like, they want that newness. They want a bit of change and variety, spice their life up a little bit, So, if that sounds like your pet, we will now be getting into messages for you from them. What does pile 2's pet or pets want to tell them? So we have the King of Wands. We also have the Ace of Cups. Yes, they need newness. They need newness, they need completion. So, like, they need to be able to have some sort of new, interesting toy or adventure or excitement. And then they need to be able to complete that, give them enough time to be able to do that and get used to it and figure that out. And then they want something new. So they want to keep exploring that. So especially since you got the King of Wands, and in this deck that is represented by like toys, so like wands, like balls of string. Clearly what's coming through is your pet wants toys. It wants to be played with, and it also wants something new and exciting as well. They also like to indulge. So you might have already given them a lot of toys and they still want more. This is basically saying they want more. So even if you're like, well, they've got plenty, they are telling you they want more than that. But as I said, especially with the Virgo energy, this is a down-to-earth pet. So even though they like having a lot of things, they like that indulgence, it doesn't need to be a fancy thing. At the end of the day, like, my cat loves cardboard boxes when I order deliveries. So it's like, sometimes the best toy costs nothing. And it's just about being creative and figuring out what they would creative and figuring out what they would enjoy. So they're kind of just saying that they do want toys and your attention a lot more, but it doesn't need to be fancy. It just needs to be interesting to them mentally, And with the Ace of Cups, this is really saying that your pet loves you. And what's really important to them is that at the end of the day, it's having that love around them. It's about sort of, to them, the gift in life is life itself. So they want to make sure that they spend time with you. They don't want to, spend their time alone. What's the point in getting a pet and then kind of never paying them attention? So that's literally pointless. That's like the complete opposite of why you get a pet. So this is telling you that they want more of that. They want to spend more time with you, but also, they want you to know that they love you, and they would also like you to show more love back, if that makes sense. And the way to their heart is toys. And spending that quality time with them while you play with those toys. You know, with my pet, if the more I play with her, the more cuddles I get that day. She will come and sit in my lap if I've played with her exclusively the whole day. She will constantly sit with me and purr around me, but if I play with her a little bit less the next day, I get less cuddles. So this is the key to my pet's heart too. So definitely invest in more toys, and that kind of shows to them that you love them, and then they'll love you back more in return for that as well. Okay, so that was your reading pile 2. I hope you enjoyed it. It was just like a nice light-hearted one. I think it's nice to take a bit of a break from like the love readings and things like that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. And if you can, let me know what colour that stone is in pile 3, because I really don't know. And I need someone to point it out to me. I don't know if I can't see colours or if like I'm wrong here, but like I would like your opinions. I'd like to hear that. So yeah, if you were drawn to any other piles, please feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Fridays for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye. Hello my pile 3s, welcome to your reading. Gosh, there are flowers everywhere. So you chose the Keep Exploring card, and you also chose what I have described as a beige, but could also be like any other colour in the world. It's like a bit green, bit beige, bit grey, I don't even know. Feel free to let me know in the comments. But that's the cat's eye colour you chose. You might have a cat that's like a cat. You might have a pet that's like kind of iridescent or shimmery, and so sometimes it's hard to know what colour they are. Or you might have like a smoky cat or something, so when you brush them one way they're one colour, and then you brush them the other way and they're another colour. So that could be what's coming through with the message of the crystal here. So your first message from your pet is to keep exploring. So your pet wants you, your first sort of piece of advice from your pet is that your pet would like you to go outside more. Especially with them, you may have like a dog or something that does go outside, and they may want you to take them on more walks, go on more adventures, specifically to nice places, because you can kind of get used to the monotony of taking your dog for a walk down the street just to, you know, do its business and come home. But they're kind of saying, can you please make time to make sure they're going to actual places, actual adventures. So for example, taking them to the common or a dog park or the beach, you know. It's like the same as like if you have a kid, you can't just take them shopping with you all day and to run errands. They do also need to go to the park and other places. So that's kind of what your pet is saying. They want to have a lot more adventure in their life. So that's the first message. The next bit we're going to be getting into is just we're going to be seeing if your pet is slightly more traditional or if it's a slightly more unusual pet. So if I get like a card that has like a cat or a dog on it, I'll know that you've got a more traditional pet. But if it's something a little bit more unusual like a warthog, I'll know it's more along that theme. This isn't a hard or fast rule, but it's just me trying to help you see if this pile is the right one for you. So let's see what type of pet you have. Okay, so first of all, we've got the dragonfly and pansy with balance. And then we also have the butterfly. Oh my gosh, maybe some of you have an unusual pet. Some of you might have like a spider or like literally an insect or like a butterfly or a moth or something. But for the most part, I'm getting a mix. Some of you definitely have a kind of out there, untraditional pet, and others of you have a very traditional standard cat or dog type of pet. But you've got the butterfly and the dragonfly. Because of fly, I'm seeing that twice, you may also have a bird. Lots of emphasis on the colour blue, so your pet may have a blue collar, or if your pet doesn't wear a collar and it is quite unusual, so like a bird or a bug type of pet, it may have blue and white tones on it as well. And we've got hope and balance. Yeah, your pet really likes to go outside. It's hopeful you will take it outside and let it explore more. Supervised if you must, you know, if it's the type of pet that can't sort of be outside unsupervised, then definitely supervise it. But they are looking for that balance. They like to, you know, have that exploration, but then also have that comfort of being home, you know. For some of you, you may have taken a wild pet. I'm just getting this as a secondary thing. You may have taken a wild pet and tried to domesticate it and it's not working, because at the end of the day it's a wild pet, so it may not like that. So for some of you, I'm just getting that, because I've seen people who have like taken in birds that were wild and tried to like make them house pets and they hate it. So that was just a sub message. That's not the main message for you guys. But yeah, so I am seeing they're hopeful you'll take them out, but they like the balance of home and outdoors. So let's take a look into their personality next, so you can really see if this is your pet or not that we're talking about here. So we have Capricorn as your first card. So we have, due to their grounding nature, their luckiest colours are earthy tones, so green, brown. So they like toys and beddings with these colours. So they may like to be on like greeny brown bed sheets. If you've got green brown bed sheets, this might be your pet that we're talking about here. Or if they've got maybe like a tartan green brown bed themselves, like a dog bed, or if it's like their collar that they wear or a vest that has these colours. So yeah, this could definitely be your pet if that is aligning with you. Oh, and your pet may be a Capricorn, but it's more so that they might have the traits of a Capricorn as well. Oop, this one. Oh, and we also have Leos. So we have their luckiest colours are warm tones like red, orange, yellow, really goldeny colours. So if your room has those vibes or that energy, or if your dog is a goldeny colour, I'm getting like golden retriever. I'm really feeling dog in this pile. Golden retriever, that kind of pet. Maybe you've got a lot of golden colours in your room, very like bold colours. Then this could also be your pile. This could definitely be your pet that we're talking about. And they would really like, you know, bold coloured toys and blankets as well. Could be a Leo, could just have traits of a Leo. And then we get one more. Aries! Yes, the first Aries. So of this reading. So we have good traits: courageous, determined, honest, loyal, natural leaders, and a magnetic personality. Yeah, I feel like this is a dog. I feel like that for some of you. For others of you, you do have an unusual type of pet, but that's kind of what I'm getting. Your pet might have been a gift to you, like a Christmas gift, a birthday gift, so that might also be, if any of you have received a pet as a gift, then this reading could be for you. We have hyperactive, overly headstrong, competitive, impulsive, and will act before thinking. They love adventure. What have us said? They love adventure. They like being playful, they like challenges, and they like hunting. They dislike being challenged or being kept in one place too much, and they dislike too much affection. Like if you're overdoing it, they get a bit overstimulated with that. So respect their boundaries, you know, like all pets love affection. It's just about knowing when the right time for that is, and if they're giving you clear signs that they are not enjoying affection, like trying to gently nudge you away or like walking away from you, don't follow them and try and pick them up, you know, give them the space that they need. That's kind of one of the messages they're saying to you. Give them space when they are showing you they want that. Give them time to explore, because they love that. They love balance, being at home and being outdoors. So make sure they've got both of those options available to them if you can, if that's possible. If it's not possible, it might be a case of just like making sure your home is like well ventilated so they get fresh air and they can, you know, still get to kind of enjoy the perks of the outdoors without actually being outdoors. Maybe, you know, that type of thing. But there was a lot of emphasis on colours as well, and I feel your reading is very, very colourful. So your pet, whichever pet you have, whatever type of pet this is, they have a very multifaceted personality, very different, very changeable. One minute they might be really enjoying something, and then the next they're not, and then they want to do one thing, and then they want to do something else. So that's kind of the energy that I'm getting. You could have a cat or a dog. I do feel like this is a half and half pile, a very traditional pile and a very untraditional pile as well. And definitely your pet loves the summer. They love to be out and about in the summer. They love the warmth. They love sunbathing. And this pet may have been a gift to you from somebody. Okay, so if that is sounding like your pet, we can now get into the final messages from your pet using the tarot. So we're going to get 2 cards here. What is pile 3's pet's messages to them? Okay, we have the 5 of... What was this? This was swords. 5 of swords in reverse. Then let's check out what your second message is from your pet. So we have the Queen of Swords in reverse as well. Oh, look at that. Just lounging away. So this is kind of saying to me, the message that I'm getting here is that your pet may feel a bit neglected by you, especially if you tell them off a lot. Your pet seems like they are genuinely trying their best, even if it doesn't look that way to you. So they might knock a cup off the table. That doesn't mean they were trying to be naughty or were trying to smash that cup. To them, that was fun, and they thought this was a fun activity, and the cup was there for them. And then all of a sudden, you're telling them off, and they don't know why. And so that can make them feel really upset. And, like, for example, if you have a dog and maybe they got into the treats and ate them, they're not trying to be bad. They just couldn't resist the treats, you know. And it's your responsibility as a pet owner to make sure the treats are in a space where that pet can't get to them. And when you sort of tell them off for these things, it makes them pull away from you, and it makes them feel really, really bad and guilty and sad and kind of neglected by you as well. So, you know, remember, like, your pet doesn't have the emotional intelligence of a human being. They're intelligent and they're very emotional and they have all the feelings, all the capabilities, but they just don't, that understanding's not there because there is a barrier in terms of communication. There are differences. They don't know the social cues that we've sort of created and these crazy rules that we have as humans. They don't know these things. They don't know not to do certain things or to do certain things no matter how much you train them. So be patient with them, be kind towards them, try not to tell them off. Like, if an incident occurs, try and reassess it and be like, okay, how could we avoid that next time, without telling them off. So for example, as I said, moving the treats to a different place and acknowledging that that was maybe a failing on your part. If it's that they've knocked cups off over the side, maybe be sure to make sure that they don't go on the side, or maybe be sure to not leave your cups out. Things like that. Like, don't take anything out on them because they genuinely don't understand. So your pet may be feeling like you're kind of at wars with them and they're not sure why, because they are trying to be perfect. They think that that's what they're doing. They think they're doing everything right, and they're not sure why this energy is directed at them or where it's even coming from when you are angry. Even if you're like playfully shouting, because I've seen like videos on TikTok of like people playfully shouting at their pet where they think it's funny because what the words they're saying are like jokey words, but the actual tone of their voice is the only thing that pet can take in, and so all they're hearing is anger. Even if you're saying something silly, they only understand tone. So while you're sort of like using certain tones, you have to be careful of that and cautious of the fact that you might be using quite a threatening stance tone. Maybe pointing at them can also be triggering, and then all of a sudden your cat bites you or hisses or scratches you and you think you just have a really mean cat, when really there were so many social cues and physical cues right before that altercation that pointed towards you being too much for them, or sort of overstimulating them or crossing their boundaries and stepping into their space. You kind of need to be better at reading them and learning like more about this type of pet and noticing those behavioral cues and respecting their boundaries, respecting that they have autonomy and they deserve that respect as much as any person that comes into your home does. You know, if someone was giving you clear signs that they didn't want a hug or something, you should, hopefully, respect that and acknowledge that. So you kind of need to do the same with your pet. You might be petting them and they might be enjoying it for the first part, but then they've had enough and you've not picked up on the few cues they've given. Maybe their ears went back, maybe their tail started whipping in a certain way, and instead of picking up on those cues, you've carried on and then they've bitten you and then you've been mad at that pet. But to them, they've just done what's right, you know? So it's about respecting them as autonomous beings. Acknowledge that they have their own feelings and their own wants, and they may want space from you, and that's okay. And you kind of need to recognize their social cues better, because it's starting to make them feel a bit isolated and sort of separated from you as well. Remember as well to provide your pet with a space that is just theirs, a safe space they can go to, not necessarily for any particular reason other than maybe they're just overstimulated by their surroundings and other people don't notice, so they kind of need to regulate it themselves and like go off by themselves. So for example, if you have a cat, you can add like shelves and things quite high up that no one else can reach, that they can, so that it gives them a space to go to when they've had enough, you know. Or if you've got a dog, maybe creating like a little room that's just theirs with like a dog flap that they can go into of their own accord and come and go, you know. If you've got like a more unusual pet, maybe figuring out a space that is just theirs and making sure they've got enough room in that space to sort of go to separate spaces, especially if like there's another pet in that facility with them. If you've got like a terrarium with like a few things or a cage, make sure they've kind of got their own designated spaces to away from that additional pet. You may have in your home what you call like the good pet and the bad pet, like the golden pet and the not good pet. Make sure you're treating them fairly and equally, and you're praising both as much as you praise, like praising one as much as you praise the other, because that can also create a lot of tension and fights between that pet and the other one. So you need to make sure they have space from each other if you've got more than one pet in the house as well. So those are the messages I'm kind of getting from your pet, is that they want you to understand them better and understand the way they communicate. They want to have a space that is just theirs so that, you know, they can have that personal time if they want it. They want you to take them out more and interact with them more. So they do like the sort of indoor-outdoor life. They like both. They like that balance, and they're hopeful that you will make those changes to accommodate that as well. They also really like furniture, is what I'm getting as well, because we've had a lot of mention of like blankets and rooms, and then we've got this little seat here and we've got this climbing scratching pole here. So they definitely want their own like bed that is designated for them. They might be sharing one at the minute with the other pet. They want their own one, so give them their own space. This is a really hyperactive, high energy pet, so they need to get that energy out elsewhere, which is also where maybe some of the scratching and biting is coming from, and you're kind of like, where's this coming from? I didn't even do anything this time. Like, how do I get you to stop doing it? They need to work off that energy during the day by being played with. They need toys. They're a very intelligent type of pet, and they need a lot of stimulation, either from the outside or from toys as well. So just coming up with creative ways to play with them and engage with them will really brighten up their day. That is what I'm getting for you, pile 3. If this resonated with you, then I hope you take these messages on board. But if this didn't resonate and you're like, that's not me and my pet's relationship at all, then feel free to check out another pile. If you liked this reading, then please give it a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you were drawn to any other piles, please feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Fridays for another reading on Tea and Tarot. Bye.